When the news broke that Willie Colón had passed away at the age of 75, it felt like the sudden silence that follows a final, powerful brass note. The kind of silence that makes you pause because something important has just ended. For millions of fans across generations, Willie Colón's music was never just entertainment. It was memory, it was movement, it was identity. His sound carried the energy of New York streets blended with deep Caribbean roots, a bold voice for a generation that found pride, confidence, and belonging in salsa. Today, we are remembering Willie Colón's life, his unmatched legacy, and we will also talk about the latest funeral and burial updates, because when a giant leaves the stage, people naturally want to know how and when the final goodbye will take place. Willie Colón was never just another musician passing through a popular genre. He was a cultural architect, someone who helped design the very structure of modern salsa. Born and raised in the Bronx, he grew up surrounded by a powerful mix of Puerto Rican heritage and urban American reality. That dual identity shaped everything he created. The sounds outside his window, the voices in his neighborhood, the struggles and pride of immigrant families, all of it found its way into his music. From the beginning, Colón understood something many artists take years to learn. Music can carry much more than rhythm. It can carry stories, neighborhoods, struggle, confidence, and resistance. His trombone did not simply play melodies, it spoke. Sometimes it sounded playful, sometimes it sounded defiant, sometimes it sounded like a warning. In Willie Colón's hands, the trombone sounded like the city itself. As a young artist, Colón entered the music scene at a time when salsa was still defining itself on the world stage. It was popular in local communities, but it had not yet exploded into the global force we know today. That changed dramatically when he became closely associated with Fania Records, the legendary label that turned salsa into an international movement. The Fania era was not just a business success, it was a cultural revolution. Concerts felt less like shows and more like events. Albums were not just collections of songs, they were statements of identity. For Latino communities, especially in New York, Fania represented visibility, pride, and cultural power. Willie Colón stood right at the center of that storm, shaping the sound, the attitude, and the direction of the movement. One of the most important chapters of Colón's career came through his partnership with Héctor Lavoe. Together, they created music that felt raw, emotional, and deeply human. Lavoe's voice carried humor, pain, vulnerability, and irony, sometimes all in the same song. Colón's arrangements gave that voice structure, power, and dramatic tension. Their chemistry was undeniable. The albums they created together became classics not because they followed trends, but because they told the truth of a generation living between cultures. They sang about joy and hardship, celebration and loneliness, success and struggle. Decades later, those songs still feel alive. They still sound relevant, they still move people. Later, Colón formed another historic partnership, this time with Rubén Blades. This collaboration took salsa in a bold new direction. With Blades, Colón helped introduce deeper social and political commentary into the music. Their work showed the world that salsa could do more than make people dance. It could make people think. It could tell stories about society, injustice, dreams, and identity. Albums like Siembra were not just commercially successful, they were transformative. They proved that Latin music could carry serious storytelling while still reaching massive audiences. That balance is one of Willie Colón's greatest achievements. Across his long career, Willie Colón produced more than 40 albums, worked as a musician, arranger, producer, and bandleader, and influenced countless artists across genres. His reach extended far beyond traditional salsa audiences. Jazz musicians admired his arrangements. Hip-hop artists sampled and studied his work. Modern Latin stars have openly credited him as a pioneer who made their success possible. Even artists from younger generations have spoken about how Colón's confidence, originality, and refusal to compromise opened doors for them. His music taught them an important lesson. Cultural roots are not limitations, they are strengths. What truly set Willie Colón apart was his refusal to dilute who he was. He never tried to soften his sound to gain acceptance. He never removed the edge from his music to make it more comfortable for outsiders. Instead, he leaned fully into his identity. That authenticity is the reason his work continues to resonate today. You can hear his influence in the sharp brass sections of modern bands. You can hear it in the storytelling of Latin lyricists. You can feel it in the pride artists carry when they represent their communities on global stages. When news of his death spread, tributes poured in from around the world. Fellow musicians, fans, cultural leaders, and everyday listeners shared memories, photos, and personal stories. Many spoke about how Willie Colón's music had been present during important moments of their lives. Family gatherings where everyone danced together, long car rides with parents or grandparents, difficult periods when music provided comfort and escape. His passing did not just mark the loss of an artist. It marked the loss of a shared emotional language that connected generations. With public mourning comes public curiosity. Fans want to know how they can say goodbye. They ask about funeral services, memorials, and burial arrangements. This desire is especially strong for an artist whose music brought people together physically on dance floors in clubs and in packed concert halls. People want one last collective moment, one final gathering to honor a life that gave them so much joy. According to the most reliable and widely reported information so far, Willie Colón passed peacefully, surrounded by family. That detail alone brought comfort to many fans, because it suggested a calm and personal farewell for a man who gave so much of himself to the public. Remembering Willie Colón also means recognizing what he represented beyond the stage. He showed that Latino identity in the United States was not something to hide, apologize for, or soften. It was something to amplify. His success helped clear a path for generations of artists who no longer had to explain where they came from. The music spoke for itself. His legacy is not confined to awards, sales numbers, or chart positions. It lives in sound, in the way a trombone enters with confidence, in the way a rhythm section locks in and refuses to let go, in the way lyrics tell stories about real people, real streets, and real emotions. That legacy does not need a single physical monument. It already exists in homes, cars, clubs, headphones, and hearts across the world. As we look back on his life, it becomes clear that Willie Colón achieved something rare. He created art that was deeply specific and universally understood at the same time. He spoke from a particular place, yet people everywhere recognized themselves in his music. That is why his passing feels personal, even to those who never met him. Now, to answer the question many listeners and viewers are asking directly. At this moment, there are still no confirmed public funeral or burial updates. No dates, no locations, and no official announcements have been released by the family. As soon as verified funeral or burial details are shared by official sources, we will update you immediately. Until then, the most respectful response is patience, remembrance, and celebration of the life he lived. Willie Colón's music continues to play. His influence continues to shape artists. His legacy continues to move bodies and hearts. And when the time comes for a formal farewell, the world will be ready. Until then, the rhythm goes on and the story of Willie Colón lives where it always has, in the music.